We're starting the meeting. The regular town council meeting this September 20th. Hi, Betsy.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, thank you. Roll call?
With pleasure. Mayor Flax is here. Councilors Antipas is here. Barber, Dela Cruz, Grimm, Morton, and Watson. We have Deb Parazzati, Councilor Parazzati, and Councilor Bonnie Nalter absent, so you have 7.
Thank you. We will now salute the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognitions, awards, and memorials. I don't believe there are any. And thank you for the one you just gave me. And receipt of citizens' petitions, comments, and concerns. I don't think anybody has signed up. So we'll move right on to responses. And of course, there can be none, because we've had none. Would somebody like to move the consent calendar?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move the consent calendar.
Second. We have a motion and a second to move the consent calendar. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 7-0. That moves us to communications and reports for the councilors. Councilor Antibas.
I'll think of something later, but at the moment I can't think of anything for the last couple of weeks.
All right. Councilor Morton.
Yes, this evening I attended the open house and presentation by CURE, which is that Connecticut CT, and the facility is beautiful. We were able to tour it, and they held a reception and spent some time talking to some very interesting people, and it was really good. I'm glad I went.
Great. Thank you very much.
Where's that located?
It's at 93 Shenecosset Road. I know that because I had trouble finding it.
Councilor Barber.
I have nothing to report today.
Councilor De La Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, I went to attended a Vessels Veterans fundraiser. It was on Saturday at the GLP Casino. Really neat. They actually gave one gentleman a moving van because he has some business up in Boston, and somebody else, they bought someone a golf cart. Someone had donated a golf cart that night to another veteran down in Florida. We do, Community Speaks Out is hosting the tournament. I gave everyone a copy of what we're going to be up to. October 1st with a rain date of October 2nd. Like I said, 8 folks, they're going to have different team names. Should be a lot of different things, so please, everyone come down. That's if you're not busy on the 1st, it's going to be fun. DJ and there'll be some music and some fun like the police officer game. And also, Community Speaks Out meeting on 9/28 at 6 to 8 at the public library, and hopefully we can see everyone there.
Great. Thank you, Councilor Grimm.
I have nothing.
Councilor Watson.
I don't know whether to do this under committee reports. I'll just do it now under communications.
Okay.
I'm just going to highlight what we talked about at the liaison meeting on September 7th now instead of under.
Okay.
I'm just going to do some highlights. Budget was one of our topics. Finance Committee at the Board of Ed is working on a timeline now, and they're also working on a 5-year capital improvement plan. Asbestos abatement happened this past summer at Claude Chester. For the Joint Efficiency Committee between the Board of Ed and Town Council, I basically gave them a copy of the resolution that we passed the night before to Dr. Grenier. There was some discussion about magnet school, and there's it's actually taken off. I guess there's a big interest in Navy families for magnet schools in general. Groton did hire. We talk about PR coordinator. New London doing all this advertising. They did get a 20-hour-a-week PR person to work on grant funding. It was noted that New London has 4 of those people full-time, I think. Let's see. Old business. And actually, this is what this committee is really all about. Keith Hedrick was there, who representing the city, because the person couldn't come from the city council. The deputy mayor. And basically got a complete overview of what's going on, basically the process and where the school referendum is, just to take back and communicate with the city council. And I also shared with the Board of Ed a resolution that we passed for that Connecticut Next, where Groton wasn't listed as a partner, and Dr. Grenier is going to follow up on that. And as usual, we met for 1 hour and left, and that's the end of it.
Great, very efficient. Thank you. I went to the RISE ribbon cutting on September 8th with the Mystic Chamber. I attended the RTM meeting on September 14th, and a couple of things came out of that, and we can discuss them further, but I wanted to give everybody the heads up. Jackie Massett had requested that during the budget process, we have at least one counselor there during their budget meeting, so that when they need explanation of why we decided to do something that we did, we have somebody there to help explain, which I thought was a great idea. And I also talked to the moderator, Scott Newsom, and he and I are going to get together this Friday, I believe. I also went to the Cure event. Karen, I had to leave early, so I saw you sneaking. I was sneaking out. And I also received a call from somebody who was talking about it. And Mark, is it possible to ask the Charter Revision Commission to come in just for an update, just to tell us, or Betsy, I mean, I don't know who.
That would be good.
Whomever that would fall to. If it falls to me, I certainly can reach out to them and ask them.
Sure. I
but,
can ask them for you, or I could provide,
They all have email addresses, right?
oh, absolutely. And
Okay, so I'll reach out to Dee and ask her if
Well,
they can.
Scott is right now.
Oh,
He's
Scott
the
is?
moderator.
Okay, so I'll reach out to Scott and see if they can come in with where they're at, what's going on with that. And then I was talking with somebody about what's the name of the property, Mark? The DEEP that GOSA is.
On 117.
Tilcon.
Tilcon property. So, wanted to throw out there that we send a letter to the DEP commissioner, asking him to come in and maybe explain, I know GOSA is going after that property and trying to, and, the council, a previous council had voted down supporting the grant. And so try to find out why DEP is going around our process and allowing GOSA to move forward with potential to get that through get grant money for that property. So I don't know if we want to send a letter, Mark, and then ask the commissioner to,
Or somebody from.
yeah, somebody to come down and discuss with us, so we can maybe get that letter together and in the letter ask them if they want to come down and just, we'd love to talk about it. So if everybody was in agreement.
Yeah,
Counselor T.
I just thought of it.
What's that?
I just thought of something that I should have said when you first tapped me.
Oh, good.
If you have time.
Yeah.
Small,
We got time.
I would be remiss if I failed to mention the fact that the Cable Television Advisory Council met on September 8th. I'm the new chair for a year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's going to fall to me sooner or later.
They always say a year.
We only meet every couple of months anyway, so it's not that difficult. But at the bottom of your cable bills, take a look. There's a website, our website. I won't repeat it because I always get the letters all mixed up. It's a CTAS something or other. But our website is at the bottom. If anybody's got any questions, do feel free to write in or email somebody and let us know if you're having a problem. If you want yes and you're not getting yes because Comcast cut it out, things like that. We do communicate things to the cable companies. That's our job, is to be the interface. So that's it.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Karen.
But to follow up on the Tilcon property, maybe, Mark, there's minutes from meetings for where we actually discussed it and what action our council took. I would like to review that, because I don't remember everything somehow. Is that possible?
Yeah, sure. So why don't we put it on the agenda for next week? And then we can come out of that with a letter to them. And so, all right. That's all I have. Clerk, the representative.
I just wanted to, Counselor Nault is here now. Maybe she has.
That's an excellent point. Counselor Null, communications. You always have something.
I know, I'm not prepared.
Okay.
All right.
So I did go to that ribbon cutting for the physical therapy that opened up
Yeah.
over in Mystic, and I don't recall what else I did.
Were there any EDC meetings or Mystic
Yeah, there was an
Chamber?
EDC meeting. But we've talked about that since the last, 2 meetings ago.
Well, if you think of it, just let us know.
Yeah, and I went to the Groton Business Association meeting, not last week's one, but the one before that at Leanne's office.
I think there's one tomorrow.
I think it was last week,
Oh, okay.
but,
Is it?
well, it was at Cure, and I think it was last week.
There is a
Last
lunchtime
Thursday.
learning event tomorrow that the chamber and the town is putting on here with one of the economists from, God, I'm drawing a blank, that's terrible. I'll think of it. But she's very good. She has spoken a couple of times at the sector annual meetings, and she's excellent. So if you're not doing anything at noon tomorrow, they provide lunch. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's $5.
Oh, I saw that at Lunch and Learn with the chamber,
yeah.
yeah. And
Melissa DeJong is her name.
the next Groton Business Association meeting is going to be at the brewery. So it's going to be not Thursday morning, it's going to be a Monday or Tuesday evening.
Super.
So that should be fun.
All right. Clerk at the RTM?
Okay, the RTM met last September 7th, which was last week, where they approved the resolution authorizing the allocation of $120,000 of capital reserve fund balance to the Crystal Lake Road reconstruction project. That was supported unanimously. There were 29 members present. And they also supported a trial electronic voting system to tally RTM votes. So this is, the proposal will be for a 2-month trial that will not be a cost to the town. This matter was approved by a vote of 25 in favor, 3 opposed, and 1 abstention. And the next meeting will be, if they have any business, will be October 12th at the Groton Senior Center at 7:30.
Thank you. Clerk of the Council?
Okay, so the explanatory text for the referendum question that will be on the November 8th ballot is available online on the town website. The entire ordinance is there also, but it's in full color. I only brought a black and white copy for you to see. Actually, I did email everyone, but this is going to be inserted in everyone's mailbox, every household, whether you're registered to vote or not, and that'll be on the 20th of October. But we'll have copies available before the 7th of October. 7th of October is when we send out regular ballots. But I also wanted to tell you that overseas ballots and 45-day ballots have been mailed out. We actually mailed those out yesterday, and if we get any more before, well, you get them, you send them. But that we're bound to have them. We're required to have them sent out at least by the 24th of this month. Well, 25th, but it's a Saturday. So, anywho, then the chairman, I wanted to tell you that the shellfish beds are currently closed due to the excessive rainfall. This is very important. There's so many people that have had problems this year because of testing, water testing and samples tested, that the beds have been closed. So the chairman of the Shellfish Commission has really been trying to keep information available on their phone number. And so since we had this big rainstorm, the Ledgelight Health District issued closure orders, so there's nothing they can do about it. So samples were sent yesterday of the water and shellfish meat to the state for testing, so probably this week, maybe the end of the week. So, but there's a phone number, 860-441-6793, which is an automated daily recording of what beds are open, and the Shellfish chairman has been putting information on there as to why the beds have been closed, which is, he hadn't been doing that before, but he has been recently. So, and the last thing, the Charter Revision Commission will be meeting at their regularly scheduled meeting next Monday. They do meet twice a month, the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday. Oh, excuse me, Monday. Second Monday and the fourth Monday. And the first meeting of the month, they have citizens' comments. And so far, they haven't had any citizens commenting. But so the next meeting is the 26th at the Town Hall Annex at 6:30. And the agendas are available, and the calendar, and the whole calendar on the Groton website. Which if you look on the front page of the website, if you just go to the calendar on the right-hand side, and you pick on the date, the 26th, you'll see their agenda. Of course, I email it to you.
Thank you. Mark, town manager's report?
Yes, a couple of things, just to go back to tomorrow's lunchtime learning. The speaker is Alyssa DeJong, and she works for CERC, which is a statewide organization. And if you have some time from noon to 1:15, I think it'd be well worth your, she has a great style and the way she presents information, very educational, very easy to understand. And I don't believe she has spoken locally in probably the last 6 or 9 months or so. So I'm sure she'll have some great information. Just next week's Committee of the Whole agenda, just kind of a heads up of some of the things that look like they may be on the agenda next week. Knowing Fire District is coming in as part of the Fire District pilot discussion. We have a number of job descriptions that we're looking to make some changes for. We are, Finance is prepared to review with the council the preliminary results of operations for FYE 16 last fiscal year. These are preliminary, they're not audited, but usually in September we do review with the council the preliminary results. We have a contingency transfer for steelworker wage increases that the council approved some time ago, but were not captured in the FYE 17 budget. Tax increment financing, we had given you a preview of that around a month or so ago. John and Paige and others will be here for a more in-depth presentation on that. While it's been on the books in Connecticut for well over 20 years, there were major changes to the program that were made a couple years ago, and it is an item that receives a fair amount of discussion in our recently updated economic development report. These are, I'm not sure these are going to be ready, but hopefully they are. The tax incentive agreement for Branford Manor that we've talked about before. The Aquarian Water Tower project on Northeast Academy property hopefully will be ready. We do have a grant that we want to submit to the Community Foundation. We talked about Tilcon earlier and the manager's evaluation that I believe Deb asked for to be on the agenda next week. A couple of upcoming events, just want to remind you of. Groton Public Schools and Children First will be sponsoring Healthy Development, a summit for infant, children, and adolescent mental health, Part 2. Some of you I know went to last year's discussion at Fitch. This discussion will be on Thursday, September 29th from 4 to 6 p.m. At Fitch High School. If it's anything like last year's event, it was very worthwhile and very informative, and I would urge as many of you as possible to try to attend that. And a couple other events just coming up. The Ledyard Prevention Coalition, Groton Alliance for Substance Abuse Prevention, and Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America have a community development training event coming up entitled Key Essentials to Create Community Change. That will be held on Wednesday, October 12th from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Mashantucket Tribal Nation Community Center. And there's contact information in your weekly status report on that. Also, just a reminder, the annual Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust Fund dinner. This is the 35th year of this event. Is scheduled for October 20th at the Mystic Marriott, starting at 6 p.m. I know a number of you have been to that in the past. It's one, in my opinion, one of the best community events that I've ever been to year after year. It's a very uplifting event with some incredible young people. Also, the Eastern Connecticut Chamber has recently announced The winner of this year's William Crawford Distinguished Service Award reception, or award, the reception and dinner will be held on November 15th at 6 p.m. at the Mystic Marriott. This year's award winner, I know many of you know her, is Maggie Jones, who is the executive director of the Denison Picancipos Nature Center. And lastly, this is a little later than usual, but it's closer than usual. CCM's annual convention and trade show will be held on the 14th and 15th. It's now a two-day event, and it's actually going to be held at Mashantucket. And I know Harry has been a number of times.
That's
and
awesome. It's gonna be
Possibly
there.
others have.
It's actually at Foxwoods. Yeah. I know Mashantucket is Foxwoods, but.
Foxwoods, I'm sorry, yes, yes. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Can I
Bonnie?
add one thing? That meeting for, I don't know, I don't think it went out to all of you, but maybe Diane and I, for that Alexi von Schlipp Gallery of Art is going to be on a meeting at Stores Thursday, September 29th at 9:30 a.m. So anybody who could go to help fight the closure of that, it would be appreciated. David Precca's going from the EDC.
There's one other thing about the whole train situation, the train plan to go through Orland. Have we penned a letter at all from the town to, is that something
As a
that,
result of the last
just in general, like,
workshop,
yeah,
no, not as a result of the last hearing that was held down in
yeah.
line.
I'm wondering if we need to send a letter from Groton just saying that we oppose if we did oppose
Do you want to put it on next, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know that the council's talked about it. You may all be of the same opinion.
let's see if we can put it on.
For next
Yeah.
week.
Okay. Shouldn't take very long. Yeah, Councilor Warren.
I just had a question on the CCM conference or convention that's being held. I would like to attend, so do I just send in an application and my fee myself? Or is this something that is done, I have to go through the town, or
You
do I
don't
do it
have to
personally?
go through the town, but if you want the town to pay for it, you have to go through the town.
Yeah.
If you want to pay for it directly, that's fine too, but.
I've been a number of times, and Nikki will do it for you. I hope
Okay.
that's okay, Mark.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just give Nikki a call, and she'll do everything you need to do. And
Okay.
actually, can I just add to that? I'm excited they're going to have it. Foxwoods is hosting it. That's awesome.
Oh,
It's always been
it's-
up in Hartford.
Exactly.
Not that I don't want to drive to Hartford, but it's nice that southeastern Connecticut is drawing all these people over to southeastern Connecticut. I think that's great, so.
I typically go every year when I work for Ledger, and there's so much information you come away with, just for the price of admission.
Just as a side note, the best piece of information that I ever came back with from the CCM convention was I went to a workshop about citizens petitions, and they were shocked that Groton gave 10 minutes in citizens petitions, and that's when we changed to 5 here, quite a few years ago. Most towns give 3, so.
Thank you, Harry.
I have a question for
Yeah.
the town manager. Hey, can you give me an update on the list of properties that we have?
Yeah, I know,
You still working on that?
yeah, let me get an update for you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Committee reports, Councilor Watson just gave the personnel and appointments. No, you gave
No,
the,
there's no meeting, no report.
There's no meeting, no report, okay. And the committee of the whole met last week and discussed a number of items, of which only one is on tonight's agenda. And without further ado, Councilor Barber, can you do 2016-0224?
Gonna make me put my glasses on.
All right.
Resolution authorizing additional roads in the city of Groton's year four road maintenance and rehabilitation program. I guess I shouldn't have put my glasses on. Whereas in November 2012, Groton voters approved a 5-year road maintenance and rehabilitation program for calendar years 2013 through 2017 that provides funding for the town, city, and Groton Long Point to maintain and rehabilitate the community's road system. And whereas the program requires each entity to file a report with the town council by December 30th of each year that identifies the roads completed in the calendar year, combines estimated costs to actual costs, and identifies the roads to be addressed in the upcoming year. And whereas the city of Groton has asked to use $8,600 of their calendar year 2016 authorized funding for initial engineering associated with the local transportation capital improvement grant application for Pequannock Road in the city. And whereas the city has indicated their intent to request additional funding in the future from the Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Program, estimated to be $125,000 to $150,000 for full engineering for the project. Now therefore be it resolved that the town council expresses its support for the project and authorizes the use of $8,600 from Year 4 Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Program funding for the city of Groton for the Pequannock Road Pequannock Road project. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilor Barber, a second by Councilor De La Cruz. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 8-0 to 0. Councilor Ante?
Some time ago, I made asked for a number of referrals that I'd like to have at least one of them considered. I know one's already come and sort of gone, and that's the fire, the use of the SCARA building, which I'd like to tie together by asking the fire districts what they think they might like to use it for, if at all, but I'd leave that for another day. But one of them was a review of town services and operations, and I know it's a lot of work. And again, I want to emphasize that we do all this at budget time because that's when we have to. I'd rather do it ahead of time, and that is at least start to pick at, in a time of peace, outside the budget period. Even if we just find out how, about one department, what's done, what doesn't have to be done, what can be done better, how does somebody else do it? Is this the best way to skin the cat? Any metaphor you want to use. And just go through it. I envision it's going to be a multi-cycle sort of thing, not get everything done, figure out how the town works by budget time. But it's just a suggestion. And if the RTM wants to join in, that's great. I don't know whether that can be done at the committee of the whole level, just have as an agenda, or whether we should have an ad hoc committee of 3 or 4 people who want to get into this thing.
I would say that we should put it on the next agenda just as a quick point to discuss.
Yeah.
And then we can figure out the department you want to tackle and who wants to be involved.
Yeah.
And then, seeing as we're talking about something that's not on the agenda, the Rules Committee took off other items from this.
And you can ask me why.
And I'm wondering, I don't know if we can discuss it now, I want to just have a discussion about putting it back on.
I have no problem with that. It was taken off because it simply didn't follow the normal parliamentary, it didn't seem to be, for example, our business, even though we have an agenda and there's new business and we can actually put new business in, suspend the rules, et cetera, we don't like to really do that. There's more free play in the committee of the whole. Anything that we call other business is supposed to be new business. In other words, in any other organization, if you see new business, it's new business. This is the time when people say, I've got something new I want to discuss. We get in the habit of pre-printing stuff on a committee of the whole, and also what we discuss committee of the whole on our town council. So we see new business. So what we're thinking of really falls under that category.
So you're saying that what you're talking, like you coming up and talking about what you would propose is under new, should be under new business?
Assuming that I had asked for, you can have that if you want. I think functionally it's the same thing, but if you'd like to have the little tickler in there, which is really what that was, or as a placeholder, I have no problem with that.
And I would say that as long as we can talk about referrals or things that people want to discuss at the next, and we can do it under new business, I don't think we need to. I just need to have an understanding that that's okay to do.
What I don't want to do is I don't want to have that in there as a window to talk about something other than new business. That's new business that wasn't on the agenda, because that's not fair to people who got notice of what's on for tonight. But
all right, I think we're fine then. Would you everyone agree that we're okay?
I move We adjourn.
We should all go to this if we want to understand Counselor Antipus. Understanding parliamentary procedure.
We had a rationale for it at the time, but,
Second.
We're adjourned.